Let's speak to the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Siboniso Duma, who joins us now. Thank you so much to you, Mr. Duma, for your time this evening. You have a new premier. Of course, there's quite a lot of expectations for her, as we are even speaking to the viewers tonight on some of their expectations. Are you certain that service delivery is not going to be interrupted and the people of KwaZulu-Natal will be able to be catered for?
Thank you so much, Bongiwa, with your viewers at home as well. I think it's a very historical day today. The mood and the environment has also complemented because it's August, the Women's Month. I don't think the issue of service delivery will be disturbed. Comrade Nomusa has been around forever. She has done a sterling job during her era as the Speaker of eThekwini. At Kokta, she also performed well, and the communities are familiar with her role and are familiar with her energy as well. So we think we'll create a responsive government that is going to cost the process of Izimbizo these days, that is going to go back towards the service delivery concept of ensuring that we respond promptly on time.
And there have been some reports, though, suggesting that she was made premier in the interest of unity, suggesting some kind of compromise here. Any truth to that?
In the ANC, unity is not a mechanical process. I think we ought to understand that the character portrait of the movement will identify who is the best cadre to be deployed for certain tasks. So I think we realize that her sterling role has been following her wherever she goes. So she's the relevant person just to take from Comrade Zigalala, who has also done a sterling job, and we had to complement that assignment. So she's going to be strong. She's part of the PEC collective elected in the Provincial Conference of KwaZulu-Natal.
And talking about the former Premier Zigalala, I mean, when he resigned, for example, you said that you didn't want him to leave, but he said he felt that it was time, and he said he wasn't pushed. Now we're seeing MEC Ravi Pillay resigning as well. Is this just a coincidence?
I wouldn't go as far as that the process of unit could also be measured within a day. Comrade Zigalala came back to the leadership. I think you might have seen or you might have interviewed him. He was clearly behind the elected leadership. He's going to make sure that he's going to participate in the program. He's still in our legislature. Comrade Ravi is going to be the new advisor at the premiership with his experience, his acumen. He's a lawyer by profession. He has seen a lot of things. So you need someone like that to communicate with different sectoral communities as well, just to relay the message, just to advance some of the things as well. So the issue of unity and cohesion is something that should start at the level of branches, build stronger branches. I think we've been preaching that over the last few days, and it is already yielding some fruit because we are visiting regions, and the mood in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, you could just measure it. At this point in time, there's a nice euphoria. Even the churches are saying that we could just relate to this type of ANC that is able to identify a female comrade and deploy her as a premier in 27 years down the line of our democracy in the province of Natal.
So MEC Ravi wasn't pushed?
No, he was never pushed. Comrade Ravi is a seasoned comrade. He's a member of the ANC KwaZulu-Natal, who has played different roles as a deputy chairperson of Lower South Coast called Tolomane Mnyaiza today. Is a senior to us as well, so he was never been pushed. You will still see most of Comrade Ravi in the mobilization. You will still see him advising the ANC governance to ensure that how you entice the environment to be more conducive for business to thrive. How to ensure that the issue of unemployment is addressed and redressed. So it's going to be still the core component of what is going to assist the ANC as the machinery of the movement.
There are reports suggesting that there might be a major reshuffle coming up in the coming days. Is a major shake-up coming?
I don't think the issue of speculation of the media will suffice or push us to the back. I think the premier has been appointed, the process of consultation, because already you have post where the premier was as the MEC for Treasury and Comrade Ravi for 8 years. So in reality is that, yes, those posts at some point in time must be filled. But I think I don't want that we rush things right now. Let us give the ruling party a chance so that the new premier must stabilize and work.
I know you say that you can't be, focusing on speculation a lot, but I can't help but ask you this. I mean, there are pictures that are circulating on social media with different faces attached to different positions. Yours has been attached to the Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs Department, saying you'll be MEC there. Are you going there?
A gigantic movement like the ANC will never be pushed what transpired in the social space. We are the organization that is currently driven at the Semi House. So whatever that will come of Semi House, out of the strategy and tactics and the program of action is what is going to be endorsed and what is going to be happening. So we have already mentioned that the reality is that Premier, you had her, she will just want to hit the ground running and never compromise the issue of service delivery. Indeed, there would be some changes. I've already indicated that there are vacant posts as we speak, but we are not going to comment on around other issues of the social platforms.
So are you saying that those who are currently occupying positions have got nothing to worry about, or should they be concerned that they may not have positions as MECs in the coming days?
The answer remains the same, because you are pushing the same narrative. We've already asked that questions, and you are technical currently. We've already indicated that the Premier has just been sworn in. We are happy that at this point in time, what was fought by the Maxegas of this world, Mercy Sulu, Comrade Winnie Madikizela Mandela, at this point in time has manifested. We are aware now that the issue of women emancipation will be addressed in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and collaborative action of empowering even young women in rural areas and townships. So work will just play a role. At some point in time, you'll find them owning the means of production, which is unheard of, which is something that has not been barely seen in the new dispensation.
I think asking questions, though, Mr. Duma, is not pushing a narrative, but let's move on. What is the plan now for Kokstad? Because obviously, Begum Dolo is no longer there. How are you going to be moving when it comes to replacing that particular position?
We have ANC councillors who are in Kokstad, so we will just decide then who is the best cadre to leave a very fruitful municipality, which is #1 in the province of KwaZulu-Natal and number 10 in South Africa. So we will identify who is the best now to lead that district of Erikwala, Kokstad local municipality.
And we also saw reports today, which, have formed part of quite a lot of conversations, suggesting a backing for current President Cyril Ramaphosa for a second term, and others saying that, this is what you may have said to them, in particular interviews with them as a publication. Has the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal taken this particular position that it's going to be backing the current president for a second term?
It was a distortion of highest proposition that we had of. We had an engagement and it was distorted, deliberate. KwaZulu-Natal was clear. We will wait for the process of branch nomination. After the roadmap, we will start the process. But KwaZulu-Natal was clinical in the provincial conference. We were going to beg the cadre, someone is going to implement the resolution of the ANC to the T, in particular on the issue of social radical economic transformation. Someone is going to expropriate the land without compensation. Someone is going to prioritize the issue of building of a state bank. Someone is going to prioritize the issue of a retail industry that is going to be driven by Africans in particular. So we are there at this point in time that we have suffered. We wouldn't want a weak state of the organization and SOEs that are being privatized at this point in time. I think our voice and our position was heard and seen in the recently held policy conference, that our position is who can drive the ANC, unite and implement to the T what is going to maintain the hegemony of the ANC on the ground.
Do you have such a candidate in the ANC when you're looking at the current crop of leadership?
We do have certain leaders who grew up in the structures of the ANC, organic, and we've got many of those that are going to be identified, and the branch nomination will also yield some nice fruit because they will give us a cue and a direction. They are comrades who can take the ANC forward. We are certainly sure of that.
How much of a factor is the developments around the former President Jacob Zuma ahead of the December conference? How much of a factor is this for KwaZulu-Natal?
The conference also mandated us, let us embrace the principle of tapping from the wisdom of our former leaders, which is why I think you might have seen that we met former President Thabo Mbeki. We'll still see Comrade Helm Mhlante. We'll see Comrade Jacob Zuma. Comrade Jacob Zuma is the pillar of the ANC. He has led the movement and he grew up in the structures of the ANC and deserves our support. I think it's still the factor in the province of KwaZulu-Natal for many reasons. If you have led the ANC, been elected in the ANC, you have led government, automatically you would have done something nice in the society because ANC ought to be the lead of the society. So Comrade President Zuma is a factor, and you'll have people who from different purposes will also rally behind where he currently is. So I think that is why we will support him as our former president. We will meet him, we will support him. The resolution was taken that wherever he goes in terms of court at this point in time, the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal must embrace the principle of, as a caring organization, that we support him as the elder of the society of KwaZulu-Natal.
Mr. Duma, let me thank you for your time this evening. That's where we have to leave it. Thank you so much for your time. That was Siboniso Duma, ANC KwaZulu-Natal chairperson.